Hello, my name is Brian Montalvo Ramos, and I'm going to be talking about my maintenance shop application. So the way I designed this application was to break it down into different classes in order to handle the different functions uh, that are required to make sure this program runs according to our requirements. So our requirements were to add, remove, delete, and search uh, data, right? So I decided to go with a maintenance shop application uh, that is essentially a customer database. Uh, so this application was split up into the GUI, the connection manager, the customer DAO, and the customer store. So our customer is what holds all our attributes, right? So these are the attributes that we have right here. Then our customer DAO is essentially how the customer is going to be interacting with our SQL database. So it sets it up of how the data should look like, right? And then our customer store is essentially what holds all our customers in the SQL database. Essentially, it's our table. And then the connection manager is pretty self-explanatory. It's the connection between our Java program and the SQLite database. Our GUI is going to be our front end interface that the customer is going to be interacting with in order to manipulate the data and the database. The way this was accomplished was to break it down into different phases. So we had four phases. We had a console phase, which was just essentially a Java console program. The second phase was to add in the exceptions and any kind of triggers in order to maintain data integrity of our actual program. Third phase was to add in the front end, the GUI, and our final phase was to add in the database and make sure everything is working properly. Excuse me. So the way I designed this was to be launched from a jar file from the PowerShell or the terminal, whatever you want to use, or if you have the IntelliJ, you could launch it from there. It's pretty simple. It's a table-based GUI with the buttons of the different features. So my features are you could load in an existing Excel file, you could add a customer, you could update a customer, you can delete a customer, and you could search for a customer. So our searching feature is a live search, and then last but not least, uh, the last feature that I have is an export the customer database. So you could export the full customer database to an Excel sheet, and I'm going to be walking you guys through it. So last but not least, let's go ahead and try to pull this up. So I have it here. So jar. Okay. So it launches my other screen. Let me just pull it over. So when it launches, it's going to ask you for the database pathway. So I have it set up so it's going to look just like this. So you're going to go to where you keep your database at. I keep mine inside the project. So we're going to go to the manage shop DB. So I have already preloaded uh, the example, but once you get it brand new, there's not going to be any kind of customers in here. You're going to go ahead and load from CSV. Sorry about that. Load from CSV. Then you're going to go to where you have your Excel file saved. I have mine again inside of our project folder. So I'll go ahead and load it. Yeah. So this is going to be our original full-on customer list. Uh, so let's start with our search feature because it's the easiest. Let's put Michael, and then we're gonna go ahead and see that we have that name in our search bar. If you go back, it's gonna show you any kind of name with those letters starting, etc., etc. You can do the same thing with the phone number and the address and the email. So let's go ahead and add a customer. So the way I designed it is you have to have a phone number. The phone number is the primary key. The name cannot be nulled out, so it has to have some kind of value. And the address can't be nulled out, it has to have a value. Email is optional. So let's go ahead and try it with nothing in it to ensure that it works. Boom, it triggers a warning. Phone number needs to be 711 digits. Name and address are required. So let's go ahead and put bad data and then leave those blank. Doesn't work, etc., etc. So let's go ahead and put valid data. So 321 780 7890. So let's put Jason born and then address 123 Bellevue, Finland. Okay. Boom. So as you can see, we're able to add our customer. We can update the customer. Let's say you don't like the last name. We're going to change it to Fisher. Excuse my grammar, Fisher. And you're going to keep the address. You can change the address. You can add an email, etc. Bam. So we're able to update it. Now let's go ahead and delete that customer. Delete. Bam. It's deleted. Now, the way this program is designed, you have the log at the bottom. I'm sure if you've noticed, if you go all the way back, it keeps track of every single change and everything that you have inputted into our program right here. This was very helpful during our testing phase when we try to break the system. So we put in valid data to ensure that we can add, update, delete, and search our customers. And we try to put in invalid data in order to break the program. So if you put in invalid data in the beginning, the program will break. As we went through our testing phases, we were able to get it all ironed out. So it should not break. Okay. So last but not least, the feature is to export the data. So let's do backup to, and we want to save this with our program, right? So that way we keep a backup of our database. Excuse me. So go ahead, save it. It's going to tell you export it okay, and it's going to give you the path so you can look it up later. Once you click OK, it's going to. Okay, so once you click OK, it should pop this up, which is our Excel program, and it's going to have all our database. So this is going to be our backup. If there's anything that happens to our database or to our program, we have a backup of our full database that we can upload into our actual program. So, uh, now, that being said, we have the backup, we have our database. Um, that's that's the end of our program. It's all our functions at the moment. More functions can be added later on due to the way it was designed. So as far as what I've gotten out of this and what I've learned out of this, I learned that it's very important to write a flexible program, um, to add the triggers in order to keep redundant data out of your actual database. And it was very important to ensure that our GUI app works according to exactly what we want, and that the having a GUI or our front end is very important to the way your customer interacts with the actual program instead of having a console based program that we had initially in our phase one. I also I also realized the importance of the testing phase. Um, During my testing, I broke our program. I broke my program quite a lot, so I had to go back and rework the whole program again and again and again and again uh, to get where I'm at today. Um, I know it's not perfect, and it's designed to be very flexible, so we can add different features in the future. But but um, I think this opened my eyes up to just the amount of work it takes to get from just the idea to the end product. And I realized that following the different steps in the development process is very important. So that's going to be all for my program. Thank you for watching.